time for changelog and friends with Adam and Jared and some other rando. We hope that you love it and stay until the end. We're not offended if you can't go. We know you're probably busy coding and your deadline is pretty foreboding. Your caffeine intake is an actual problem, so why don't we walk outside and we can listen to changelog and friends with Adam and Jared in Silicon Valley. We know one day the gag will come to an end, but honestly that will probably be our finale. We bet you're slinging ones and zeros, and that makes you one of our heroes. Your list of to-dos will be waiting for you, so why don't we walk outside and we can listen to changelog and friends with Adam and Jared, people you know. Changelog and friends, let's get back into the flow. Changelog and friends, changelog and friends, it's your favorite ever show. Favorite ever show.
How about that? A special BMC treat for us. What do you think? Better than the OG theme? Should we use this one from now on? Holler at us. We would love to hear from you. What you are about to hear is the first in a series of conversations that we had at Microsoft Build 2024. Adam and I flew out to Seattle this week and interviewed some amazing folks, including Scott Guthrie, Microsoft's Executive Vice President, and Neha Batra, VP of Engineering at GitHub, along with some other surprises we'll be releasing real soon. Microsoft is going all in on AI, so the topic dominates all of these interviews. If you're burned out on AI, take a week or two off, but come back for great shows on other topics. We have developer/lawyer Louis Villa from Tidelift and Paul Copplestone from Supabase on the calendar. This episode with Shaundai Person was the last one that we recorded on Wednesday afternoon, but we're bringing it to friends first because, well, it's the most frenzy of the bunch. All right, let's talk with Shaundai, but first.
What's up, friends? I'm here with Sama Alam-Naylor, Senior Developer Advocate at Sentry. So we've been working with Sentry for many years now, and I love Sentry. We use Sentry. It's so helpful for us. But we don't write many bugs here at Changelog. We're just that good. But I do say often how many teams use Sentry. And that number has grown over the years. It was 40,000, then it's 70,000, then it's 90,000, and now 100,000 plus teams use Sentry. Numbers don't lie. Check the NASDAQ scoreboard. Can you believe that, Soma? What are your thoughts on Sentry's impact to software teams?
Do you know what? I'm not surprised. It's a quality product, and I'm not just talking about that because I work for Sentry, but because I've used Sentry. And I think its success is also due to the fact that it supports over 100 SDKs and frameworks. Like any programming language you want to use, unless it's ridiculously obscure, Sentry's got an SDK for that. Whether it's an official maintained SDK or whether it's a community SDK, there's a way that you can implement Sentry in your project with a few lines of code. You don't need to really do much to get its benefit. And I think that's really powerful also in showing that people want to make Sentry work for their frameworks or their languages of choice because it works. And the fact that you can self-host Sentry as well, it shows how valuable it is and shows how valuable Sentry knows it is to people. The fact that it's open and out there and you can use it and configure it to your specifications at the code level if you want. And if you want to not bother about that and pay for it, then you can do that too. I'm not surprised, and I'm not surprised that it's growing. I sound biased, obviously, but it's the best error monitoring solution I have used in my dev career of many years. And as a front-end dev, it feels intuitive. I think a lot of these error monitoring solutions are very back-end focused. They're very stack tracy and not really geared up with a good developer experience. Like, here are some logs, here are some things to spit out. you can read them if you care. But with Sentry, it seems to appeal to more developers because of the way it's been engineered. The amount of SDKs that are available makes it appeal to more developers. And you can get started in Sentry in so many different frameworks in less than a minute. And all the instructions are in the app, and they point you to documentation if you need it. It's, a joy to use. And so I'm not surprised that many people use it.
I'm glad you're not surprised, because I'm not surprised either. It's an amazing tool. We love it. We use it. Go to Sentry.io. Use the code changelog. That will get you $100 off the team plan. It's basically 3.5 months free, or almost 4 months, but code changelog will get you $100 off the team plan. Use it. Love it. Sentry. We love it. Sentry.io. That's Sentry.io. Sentry.io.
What are we talking about?
I was going to ask you that. I didn't think we needed a plan with this trio. I just thought we would just talk.
Let's just talk.
Yeah.
All right.
Talk about anything.
Yeah. So we're here with Shaundai Person from Netflix
From Netflix.
at Microsoft Build.
I know.
Why?
Because I got invited by Scott Hanselman, who is he's a VP of Developer Community here at Microsoft. And they have, one is the content creation side. So outside of my work at Netflix, I'm building a TypeScript course. And I am also creating content to draw people to that course. And I have established a community, and I'm building a community of developers. So they wanted some input on some of the projects that they're working on with AI and how that relates to.
Oh, hold on a second real quick. Mm-hmm. Challenge
Yep.
Gosh.
for the duration of this conversation.
Don't say AI.
No AI.
Oh, that's going to be tough.
You got your one in there. You're creating some AI content.
Okay.
Fair.
Every time you say out,
Okay.
you have
Fair.
to drink some Aquafina.
Can I say, what if I say the whole word?
Well, let's just say that you can talk about it, but not directly about it.
Ooh, I like this though.
All right, because we're a little bit overloaded here. We're at our final conversation.
We're trying our best to curb the AI.
Yeah.
We've been very AI heavy for the last 2 days.
As you should.
And I just feel like
Yeah.
a challenge. And here I am saying it over and over again. Dang it, breaking my own rule. So I just want to throw that out there. Continue.
Okay, cool.
It's just too easy, I got to make it harder on you. So now try to explain what you're doing here.
All right. Yeah. So,
She can't do it.
No.
okay, with content creation, they wanted feedback about what the developer community is thinking about and interested in these streets. And then the other aspect of it is that at Netflix, I'm part of the platform engineering team. And
Right.
so we're building developer tooling. And there are a lot of parallels from what we're doing on my team with what they're doing, the people who are building the platforms for other developers at Microsoft. And so there are a lot of learnings that we could share. I was doing more learning than sharing, actually, in this case, but also providing feedback on things that might be useful to us and our team, like how we're using Copilot and how
That works.
how we're using ChatGTP, if that, and different areas of opportunity that we can leverage some of the offerings that Microsoft has in things like VS Code and Copilot to enhance the developer experience at Netflix as well.
Good job.
Gotcha.
Thanks.
Pretty good job navigating that
She's
one there.
working
That was
hard.
tough.
She's working hard.
That was tough.
Mental gymnastics here, not mentioning
It almost makes it worse. We're almost thinking about
we
it more.
can't mention.
The elephant in the room.
We're almost thinking about it more now, yeah. So I don't know if this backfires or not, but is Netflix on Azure at all, or I thought it was all AWS, isn't it?
It's AWS. Yeah. So my big question was, how can we leverage all of the things that you showed us
Right.
if we're AWS customers? And I think in general, my feedback was that I guess I understand that, there's the push. They want to push folks to Azure,
Right.
but part of the feedback is that you need to be able to enable people like myself, an engineer at Netflix who is not probably even interested in taking the entire company and telling them, like, let's move over to this
Right.
entire new platform. Like, how can I integrate your new offerings with the things that I'm doing without having to have that huge lift of, like, let's rip and replace something like AWS. So I do see some opportunities. I talked with some folks about the differences, and it's still foggy to me, so don't get me to try to explain all the details of it. But one response was there's differences between the sizes of language models. There's small language models, SLMs, all the way up to large language models. So don't think of it as something where in order to take advantage of all these new sophisticated capabilities, you have to you have to replace things. Maybe you can stand up an app, just like somebody made an app that quickly just cleans up their desktop. Like they have all of the different icons on their desktop. I can stand up a quick little app that automatically will look through my
Figure it out on
desktop
its own.
apps and and sort things. So stuff like that is a quick win and easy way to get in. So there are a lot of opportunities that I can go in and dip my toes in the water without having to rip and replace everything.
So what did you learn? Is it an API call away, or is it beyond that? You have to be on Azure. You have to be sort of steeped into the whole kit and caboodle, or no?
Apparently not. Apparently you don't have to be all part of the whole, you don't have to adopt the whole kit and caboodle in order to
I'm glad
adopt
you used my
something
term. Thank you.
It was a
Kit
good
and
term.
caboodle.
It was a good term.
Kit and caboodle?
Very Midwestern.
Kit and
It's the
caboodle?
kit and the caboodle.
Okay.
Which I never understood what the caboodle was.
It's not a kitten caboodle, it's a kit and caboodle.
I'm pretty sure
I'm
it
pretty
is.
Kit and.
Because it's the whole kit and caboodle.
Yeah, that's right.
But I never knew
Right.
what a caboodle was, so maybe it's
I
a
think it's the bag it came in.
maybe.
It sounds like
Or
a candy.
It sounds like the back end of something.
Caboodle.
The back end.
the front, the front end and the back end. You know?
Should I use these new and upcoming sophisticated technologies to find out about this?
Ask your phone.
You should.
Maybe it'll automatically know
should.
stuff. Oh, funny.
What does kit and caboodle mean?
You have to share how it is spelled.
Yeah.
Kit and caboodle,
Okay.
in quotes, is an informal phrase that means everything and more,
Okay.
or the whole lot.
Specifically, what's the caboodle?
The term kit can mean a collection of tools or equipment,
For
while caboodle is believed to derive from the word boodle,
I was so close to being right on this one. You know,
meaning
like,
a lot or group.
it's kind of like everything in the trunk, right?
Give me your level of groundedness of that response.
How grounded is that response? That's like asking the kid, how intoxicated they are. They're not going to tell you the truth.
Gosh, listen to this.
They're gonna laugh.
This response is quite grounded.
Of course it is.
Kit and caboodle is indeed an idiomatic expression in English, commonly understood.
That's what it thinks.
The very sophisticated technology has just slapped me in the face with being grounded. So this term we just learned is grounded, right? Groundedness. At least I learned it here.
Yeah.
Is groundedness this measure?
When I was a kid, grounded meant something
Yeah,
entirely
right.
different, right?
Yeah.
But grounded now means does the response from sophisticated technology, did it come from the context that it was actually trained in, or is it hallucinating?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Grounded in
Groundedness.
reality. It's kind of like a new way of saying, is it true or not, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Like,
And
that wasn't grounded.
we're not supposed to use hallucinating, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who
yeah.
said this? Everybody's saying this.
Yeah, this is so
This
take
is
it up with
news.
Scott
This is
Hanselman.
new?
And no, apparently because
Okay.
AI, it's not a human, and hallucination is a trait of a human,
Sure.
and you want to take out the
Yeah.
personification of the. Did I say the word? I did.
That's all right. Keep going.
Yeah.
There's a
You
silly,
want to take it
there's
out.
a silly
So-
challenge. I knew it wouldn't last.
Hallucination gives it this air of like being a person. They use the term fabrication, or that's why it's
Well,
like
people
Microsoft.
lie. They fabricate stories.
Isn't that true? So I don't know. I don't know.
All right.
I didn't write it.
So this is a Scott Hanselman moment. We'll have to take it
Yeah.
up with him.
Yeah.
Let's see, yeah.
We personify things. I mean,
And that's fine, I think.
I think it's all right.
Grounding
Anthropomorphize
is human
the
too.
human is,
Like
yeah.
I would,
yeah.
I'm grounded. I'm feeling grounded.
Well, I will still call it hallucination. I don't really-
Well, I don't know why fabrication is better, because to me it sounds like, well, now it's lying to you. Like if somebody's fabricating something, they're lying. But
Hallucination sounds
hallucination
more
is
like
more like you think you're right, but you're actually wrong. Like you've imagined something.
Right.
So I think in terms of personification, I think it's a better word. But if there's a better word that's non-human, I'm fine with it because they aren't humans. Let's treat them like the robots that they
That's
are.
right. That's right.
They're less than human.
Be the bot.
That's right. Now I can mistreat it.
Now you can.
I need an excuse to treat it poorly. You always say please and thank you to your GPT. I'm just like, just do it.
You do? That is
Oh, yeah.
so
He
polite.
He treats it like a human.
Wow.
He'll be like, thanks, ChatGPT. That was really useful.
No, I do not.
You do something like that.
ChatGPT, did you sleep well last
I'm also a
night?
podcaster, and I got to make good airtime.
That's true. That's
So
true.
sometimes I embellish a bit, but
But then it comes back to bite you.
there may have been at least 1 or 2 occasions where I'm like, that was a good response, or thanks.
Oh,
You know, I don't know. Just
Okay.
being kind.
It's kind of like those bots on Reddit. Have you ever seen the Reddit bots where like it does a thing? It's like, hi, I'm a bot and I'm here to make sure that you use that word correctly. And then you can give it feedback by saying like good robot or bad robot. People do it all the time.
Sure.
I don't actually do it, but I see these comments on Reddit where it's like good bot, you know?
oh, really?
Yeah. And I always think of it like you're petting it like it's a little robot.
Go
Yeah,
by.
But that's good feedback.
Well, I think that ChatGPT does have memory now. So if it can like remember that I'm not nice,
Yeah.
it might be like, I can't work with you because I'm told to only work with kind people.
Oh.
You know, like my training says that if you're rude, I'm done.
oh, but
Yes.
I'm paying you $20 a month, dude.
Okay.
Like, is that give me
Is that how you
privilege?
work? I give you money, I can do what I want to you?
Well, when it comes, not if you're a human, of course.
Put the quarter in
If
my
you're a
dance.
if you're a computer program
Right. I own you.
or a service, it's a service.
Yes, you are my robot. I will not be nice to you
So
because I've given you money.
I've heard people like they think that it's going to eventually take over the world. So
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
let's
yeah.
be nice to it, so that when it takes over the world, it's like spare.
Oh, yeah, I'm in
spare
that
me.
camp.
I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm in the opposite
I
camp.
can understand.
When the memory upgrade says memory upgraded in ChatGPT, I'm like, oh, you just remembered everything I just said.
I am
You've got
so-
more room in there now to remember what I said.
Please, Master, I love you. Right? I'm in the other camp. I'm like, no, we will not go quietly into the
Oh my
darkness.
gosh.
We will pull the plug.
You're ready for the rebellion.
I am.
He is a plug
Sign me
puller.
up. I'm a plug puller.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to use it up to the point where
Is that
I'm
like cord cutter, but not
yeah.
plug puller?
Yeah,
it's
plug
less-
puller.
It's less serious. You can always put the plug back in once you cut the cord.
I'm scooting over.
Yeah,
Just
you have
in
to
case.
You actually might be in trouble in the future just because of your association to me,
Yeah.
a known plug puller.
You know what though? As nice as you are, the AI is probably trained on the fact that you have done so many podcasts together. It's just like,
Yeah.
we can.
Guilty
but,
by association.
yeah, but it probably is sophisticated enough to parse that. Like, this is
What
a
is
good
it
cop.
called
This is a
again?
bad cop.
What did you call it?
We already busted
I called it
She gave up.
the thing.
The thing? Hey friends, you know how much I love Tailscale, and I also am a big fan of Alex. He's awesome. He also does some really awesome videos on the YouTube channel for Tailscale, and recently he did a tutorial, kind of a walkthrough of using Tailscale with Home Assistant and what it took to set it up and access Home Assistant remotely via Tailscale. Take a listen.
Under Home Assistant, we're going to go ahead now and install another add-on. So I'm going to go ahead and install the Visual Studio Code Server add-on. Whilst that's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and go back to the Tailscale add-on that we installed earlier and just grab the piece of configuration that we're going to need from the documentation. In the documentation page, do a Command F or Control F and search the page for 127.0. And there you go. We just need these 4 lines of code here. Home Assistant by default blocks connections from untrusted proxies, such as the Tailscale proxy. In this case, we're going to add the 127.0.0.1 as a trusted proxy in the list here. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this to my clipboard. I'm going to go ahead and click on Start and then also show in the sidebar. And you can see we're basically in Visual Studio Code, but in a browser. And this is running directly on Home Assistant and has access to your configuration files and what have you underneath. All we need to do is paste those 4 lines into our configuration.yaml file and restart Home Assistant. So I've pasted the 4 lines. I'm going to go to the hamburger menu up here, click Save, and then Settings, and restart Home Assistant. We want to go back to the add-on section, and under Tailscale, we're going to have to go to the configuration tab for the add-on and click on Tailscale Proxy. This is going to turn on Tailscale Serve. This is what will automatically generate you a TLS certificate using Let's Encrypt for your tailnet.ts.net tailnet name. So if I click on save here, it will take a moment, but it's going to restart the Tailscale add-on. And so now I should be able to go to https Home Assistant velociraptor.ts.net, and it's going to load my entire Home Assistant instance over Tailscale with a TLS certificate using the name from my Tailnet. And I can log in just as if I was using the IP address and port number that I was before. And you can use this name from anywhere on your Tailnet. So any device that's connected to your Tailnet, such as a phone, for example, that can now connect to Home Assistant whether you're in the house or whether you're at the coffee shop or whether you're in Iceland looking at volcanoes. It doesn't really matter where you are.
If you're one of the few out there who have not tried out Tailscale yet for free, you can do so today, up to 100 devices and 3 users, totally free at tailscale.com. No credit card required. Just go there, sign up, get 100 devices, 3 users, totally free. That's where I'm at. I use Tailscale totally free, and you can too. I'll link up Alex's tutorial in the show notes. Check that out. Tailscale.com. Do it now.
How much are you using this stuff in your life?
I'm using it increasingly more. So I use ChatGTP for docs because I use it to try to eliminate anything that I just don't feel like doing. I don't really use it for code, and I like to code. Huh?
The dishes.
The dish? No, I wish. No, I have.
Right?
I have an automated. Well, I have a dishwasher, so I have a system. I just press the button and it washes my dishes for me.
After you've
so
loaded
that's
it.
great.
I mean, correctly, of course.
After I've loaded it.
There's a right
correctly.
way to load it.
And I only know the right way. I don't know how to do anything wrong. Like I've never done anything wrong in my life. So
I wouldn't imagine that.
Yeah.
Are you guys just talking for the AI now? Are you auditioning to survive?
I'm complimenting her.
Yeah, and I'm telling
She's a
the
great
truth.
dishwasher loader.
I am.
And she never does it wrong.
I never do anything wrong.
And we
is what
agree
I
there's
said.
one way to do it
I
right.
heard this part of the conversation. You guys are just saying it again. So it hasn't quite done your dishes yet, but it's writing your emails?
No, not my emails. It's fine tuning my emails. And so I'm the type of person who it's easier for me to start with like something than to start with a blank slate. So I can put in a prompt and I'm like, write me an outline for a doc that will convince my manager to spend $150,000 on like.
This is hypothetical?
Yeah,
vacation.
hypothetical. Yeah, on a vacation for me.
For sure.
Yeah, totally hypothetical.
Okay.
And then ChatGTP will just come out, or Copilot will come through because we have this Copilot license. Will go and give me all of the outline and everything, or I can run through and say, okay, I just want to just write some words. Copilot fine tune all those words for me, and then I'll use that and make it sound a little bit more human.
More human than you wrote it?
So you know what I did the other day? No, to answer your question. But what I did the other day was I asked ChatGTP or Copilot. I guess it's the same thing now too, or it's kind of two sides of the same coin. I asked it to write a paragraph for me to a doc about I'm convincing my team to move in a certain direction for a project that we're doing. I asked it to write a paragraph
Towards Azure.
And so I asked it to write a paragraph for me to explain or to introduce the topic. It wrote the paragraph, but it sounded very AI. It was all these big words. I don't know if you're familiar with T.I., the rapper, but he just raps like...
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he just uses big words for no reason, like existential, incremental, and like it doesn't go together. So it sounded like that, just like a whole bunch of buzzwords. And I was like
he's writing his stuff with a thesaurus. Sitting there. He's
exactly.
just like, I got to get a bigger word for this.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Like he just looking for what's a big synonym for this word.
Right.
And so I ran it back through ChatGTP and was like, can you make it sound more human? And then I ran it through and it started using more like colloquialisms and smaller words. So it's interesting that I asked AI to sound more human than it did, and it responded in that way. So that was cool. But I use it for docs for the most part, and we were just talking earlier today about leveraging it to do some dynamic things with our code, like to understand our users. I can't go too far into it because it's like top secret,
proprietary.
Yeah. But to
recommendations on Netflix, no big deal.
Oh yeah. Like all of the
whole new algorithm,
the whole entire rewrite the whole entire
right.
Netflix with AI. Yeah, make it more modern. But
she's just given up on the AI thing, right? She just gave up.
I did.
Well, we did.
It's
I let her
okay.
Yeah.
I was holding her to it still.
I know.
Oh man, you're not doing a very good job because she said it like 17 times.
Well, I heard her say it. I'm like,
he said it every time.
why are you saying it?
And even the way he's looking at me is just like I'm counting.
he's
Every
just
time you
counting.
say it, I'm like,
you're gonna drink so
do
much.
you not know
Aquafina.
you're losing points right now?
You're so competitive.
I let her off the hook. It was too hard.
I was winning.
All
Yeah,
right,
that's all we're
well,
talking about.
You lose.
Okay.
It's literally
Yeah.
the
All
topic
right.
of conversation.
Yeah.
So docs,
Docs.
convincing.
Right.
Just teach to make you a better salesperson,
Well,
right?
yeah. I've told you that I'm a
She's pretty good sales.
Oh, that's right.
by
You
the
were,
way.
weren't you?
Yeah.
Well, maybe better.
It's actually
I
even
forget we
better.
have that in common.
This might be a
That's-
good opportunity, actually. So I'm here with two salespeople.
Okay.
They're both
Well,
somewhat competitive.
Sure.
Yep.
We've given up on the other challenge.
Sell me this pen.
So let's
That's why he's keeping tabs. He's like, you're losing to me.
see who can sell a little bit better here. So I think you need to convince me, of course, because I'm the judge.
You're going to make me lose no matter what.
Why do you say that?
Because you're against me.
Because she's a guest. Mm-hmm. All right, you're right. I'm completely biased.
Sure. Let's do it, though. I'm
But now
down.
you've actually just turned me back towards you because I would show my true cards by doing what you just said right there.
It's true.
Now we're in the middle of a
Yeah.
game of
We can say it's
chance here.
no winner, just
There are
different. We have different styles.
all losers
Styles,
here.
yeah.
But I'm happy to sell
No
something.
winners. Well,
Or how would you approach it? Yeah.
yeah.
I'm
Okay.
down for that.
Okay.
Every day.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. So hypothetically speaking, if you wanted, no, this is too easy. I was gonna say if you want to convince Netflix to switch to Azure.
Oh gosh.
I don't know why I would do that. It'd be like an ad for Azure.
I don't even think I know
uh,
enough about Azure to do that either.
What's something that you know well? Barbecue.
I like barbecue.
You know barbecue very well.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find.
Oh, let's say
equal
barbecue versus soul food. I like soul food better.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because he's a barbecue guy.
Okay.
Okay.
Gosh, where are we going with this?
We're gonna. You're
I'm going to lose. Come on. I'm so scared.
All right.
I saw her eyes.
You need to convince me
She's
that
way-
barbecue,
Okay.
that I should have barbecue tonight for dinner, and you should convince me that I should have soul food tonight for dinner.
Oh.
And you'll both have a chance to respond, and then you can talk to each other as well and debate.
Sure. Okay.
And you guys can see which I'm going to buy tonight. So we'll let ladies go first.
Okay.
Shaundai, what is soul food exactly, and why would I be interested in buying some this evening?
I'm happy to tell you about soul food, but what did you plan to cook tonight before we started to have this conversation?
Well, I'm in Seattle, so I don't have any ability to cook. Mm-hmm. So I was probably going to go out for something. Mm-hmm. And I think we had discussed maybe having steak. Maybe heard about this Korean barbecue place.
Marination.
I haven't had sushi in a while, so we're kind of like completely up in the air.
Yeah.
But I'm actually not cooking tonight. I'm eating out. So,
You're eating out.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. And did you have a taste for anything or
well, we had pizza. We had Italian. Sorry, not pizza. We had Italian recently. So no, I'm wide open. I'm on a blank slate.
blank slate? Okay, cool. Yeah, because you did mention sushi, and that sounds like a good option. Korean barbecue might be good. You know, we're on the West Coast. We're pretty close to Japan now, and
So close to Japan. So close.
we're like right
True.
there.
Just barely.
Just so close.
Yeah.
But something that would actually be really good in Seattle, as you think about it, is soul food. And why I say that?
Okay.
I'm going to so win.
Seattle, the home of soul
This has
food.
been such a long day too. So
Right.
you just might. You mentioned that you didn't really have a particular taste for anything.
No, I'm open.
So yeah. So if I'm putting myself in your shoes, I don't want to go to a restaurant where I'm just going to be bogged down with like one type of cuisine. I want to get there, and then in the moment, I'll be able to have the ability to choose. Do I feel like seafood? Do I feel like a steak? Or do I feel like some pasta type of thing? The good thing about soul food is that you don't have to choose until you're there. You have the option of like fried catfish or baked catfish, grilled catfish, and then a side of macaroni and cheese. So it's like, it's something that's filling, but you're not like married to one particular cuisine or
Dish.
taste.
Okay.
Yeah, not one.
What are some other
Flavor
dishes?
palette.
Like,
So my favorite thing is now fried chicken. And if you've been to Atlanta, there's lemon pepper chicken wings, and they're the best in Atlanta. So hopefully I'll see you guys there.
I've never
at
been.
some point soon. Really?
I've been to the airport, and that's about it.
Oh, we've got to get you some lemon pepper
Yeah.
chicken wings. Or some
There's
chicken
a big
wings.
event in Atlanta,
Render. Yeah. That's in June. So that's in like 2 weeks, and I'm speaking there. So I think
Figured
you
as
should
much.
come.
You're at like every event.
I
She
feel
is.
like I
Yeah.
am.
There she is.
All right, so you've heard her argument. What do you think, man? Barbecue,
She kind of sold me on these lemon peppers.
Listen.
right?
You see? So both of you.
Right.
You said I'd lose.
Sounds pretty good, actually.
No, I said I'd win. Which implies you lose. Explicitly, I did not say that.
I don't think Seattle's actually the best place to pitch either of one of these
No.
cuisines. So, you're on level ground there. Like,
Absolutely.
Can't say Seattle's great for this, but that's okay. Let's just assume.
I can't reveal my secrets. I'll just declare a loss.
You're just going to take the L?
Yeah,
Some days the best
can't put my
answer.
secrets out there. She'll take them and try and use them.
I will.
Can't
To
help
what?
her
To
out.
beat
That's
you-
what I do.
To beat you next time? She just beat you right here if you don't
That's
compete.
true. That's true.
Okay.
I'm just kidding around. I think I would begin with I know you've already had steak. So that's not close to barbecue, but it kind of is because you can barbecue it. You can slow it,
It's
low and
meat.
slow it. Yeah, it's
Right.
thick,
Yeah.
right? I know you've had Italian, and we like Italian. It's great stuff.
Right.
I'm more for sushi, so I'm not really trying to advocate for barbecue because you threw me to the barbecue lane. But I think there's just so much good barbecue out there, and it really depends on how long it's been since you had good barbecue. So if you have had good soul food recently, but it's been a bit since barbecue, maybe it's time.
So yours is all about timing, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to you, really. Like, I'm not going to convince you to eat it. If it's good for you, you should eat it.
So this is how you approach sales?
Yeah.
You don't try to convince me to.
No, absolutely not. Like, I think if you want it, you should have it.
It's
I think
an
it's great
option.
food.
Says the option, and then he's like.
And I think
you pick.
catfish is amazing. I think, lemon pepper.
See,
Probably smoked. Do they smoke them? Or direct fire over the grill?
oh yeah. So there's options, man.
right?
There's
Like,
some
yeah,
ways.
you could roast. You could get the roasted ones, and then they'll
Thighs,
put
even?
and-
Thighs? Are you thighs
my
or
gosh.
breasts? I mean, like,
So these are
Thighs.
like wings. So they're
These are
like,
wings.
or you
Well,
could do like the
wings,
full wings.
sure.
Yeah, I'm thighs though. To answer your
Yeah.
question.
Deep fried or these are
I knew
grilled
this.
or?
Ooh, any options? So, okay,
Either
so there's-
way.
It's
okay,
all
there's
soul food?
options.
I've gone her
how-
way now.
There's options. You're into it. So
I
there's-
love soul food.
By the way, though,
easy
all the
sell.
things you're talking about can be done on a barbecue. So we're kind of in the same camp.
I know that they're actually not that
Look
different.
at us.
They're not much
finding
different.
Synergies.
That's true.
I like that.
Yeah, they
I
really.
like that.
I mean, you can totally do low and slow chicken wings for 45 minutes. You can also do them fast.
No, it's
380.
true. Yeah, like soul food and barbecue are like cousins.
Yeah.
pretty much.
Pretty much.
It's not really
The
that
sides
different.
is what makes the
That's it.
rest of the meal soul food.
Yeah,
Because if I give you baked beans versus what's a good side? Soul
macaroni
food.
and cheese.
Mac
Big
and
macaroni.
That's
and cheese.
also barbecue.
Yeah.
See,
Right, or greens, collard
true.
greens.
Collard
greens is
that's
not barbecue necessarily.
Is that
well,
barbecue?
traditional barbecue like in Texas. Like we're not doing collard greens.
You wouldn't.
No.
Yeah.
But I
There's a lot of
admit,
different barbecues. There's
Yeah,
Southern barbecue.
for
that
sure.
probably
Right.
do that.
You do okra, like fried okra and stuff.
Oh,
as
my
a
wife
side?
loves it.
I like
I'm not a
fried
big fan.
okra.
It's like snot to me. It's like something weird in there. Okay,
Oh
I'm not-
man, now I won't be able to get that out of my head.
Yeah.
You're right though.
it's kind of icky.
it is.
Green beans, however, I'm
Green
down.
beans are good.
Yeah, I'm
Green
down.
beans are good.
Macaroni and cheese, coleslaw.
Yeah.
I mean, these are all soul food / barbecue. We're just cousins, basically.
That's it. Yeah,
See?
that's it.
You can't go wrong, man.
All
Yeah.
right, you're right. I'm buying both.
Okay, cool.
You guys both win.
I'm fine with that.
Cool.
But honestly, my tactic with sales is not at all about convincing. Zero. Like I want to lead and sell a good product that I believe in, but I don't want you to buy it because I think you should have it. I want you to buy it because you need it, right? And I want to find out, can I actually help you? And if I can, I'm going to convince you that I can help you, not that you need what I'm selling, which is different. It's like perspective taking. It's not the same.
Yeah, I think my approach is similar in some senses, but also, like, I'll add to it is that I want to find out first. So you saw I started by asking him questions. So I want to find out where we're starting from, figure out what your interests are, and then I want to lead you to thinking that it was your decision to do what I wanted you to do in the first place. So what my tactic was all throughout my career in sales is ask a bunch of questions. And I even approach conversations like this today. I would be a great podcaster, I think. But I'll ask a lot of questions and then start to kind of mold this shape of what I want you to be from where you are. And then I'll start to plant little leading things like, okay, well, you said this was something that was interesting to you, or you said you haven't had this in a long time. So this is why if I were you, I would do the soul food, or I would do the barbecue or something like that, and make it feel like because you said this was your choice.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway,
valid techniques.
We learned about sales.
Both
We learned
valid.
about sales.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, what about closing the deal?
That's the hardest
Isn't
part.
that the hardest
for
part?
me. Yeah. It's the hardest part for
I'm
me.
asking you. I don't know.
But it's easy if you've done the work ahead of time. Like if you've done
The deal
all
closes itself
Right.
if you've done the right work.
if you've done the work up front.
Oh, yeah.
But you got to do something though, right? Like you got to be like,
I think my key phrase, honestly, when I want to know what the next step is, which is usually a close of some sort, like a good It doesn't have to be, yes, I'm signing. It's, yes, I want to, or some sort of conviction, yes, we're moving forward, is what's a good next step. And you put it in their shoes because they're going to explain to you, well, I need more information. They won't say that, obviously, or something will come out in their response that lets you understand where they're at. They might be like, send me the proposal and agreement. Let's get going. Or it could be, I got to talk to my boss. There's 2 other people that need to help me with this decision. And I'm like, can we meet with them together? Can I showcase how we work? What can I help you with to explain to them who we are and how we'll help you? And usually I just make myself a resource. Like, I'm not here to sell you. I'm here to be a resource for you to get to where you're trying to go.
That's interesting. So what were you selling? I'm sure it was a lot of things. Everything. Yeah.
I've sold long distance. I've sold donations to the Cancer Society. I have sold podcast ads and things like that. Big ideas.
Still selling.
And it's not just like selling ads. It's more like, should we help you? Can we help you? How can we help you to get to this place with reaching developers that are hard to market to?
Yeah.
How can we help you think about this differently than simply give us a script and tell them how awesome Sentry is? Like, that's not how we approach it, generally.
Okay. Yeah. Because where I'm getting at is for me, it's different depending on the thing that I'm selling and also who I'm talking to. So if I'm talking to somebody who is kind of indecisive, I'm not going to ask them, or they're just kind of like all over the place. I'm not going to ask them what's the next step. I'll tell them, but gently, I think a good next step probably would be this, and this. What do you think? Does that sound good to you? Or it sounds like you need to get
I like that stuff, but it sounds kind of like implanty, like you're planting your own idea, which I don't disagree with. I would probably say, what's your goal? What are you trying to... I see that you don't understand, or I see that you're hesitant in some way, shape. What's your goal? What are you trying to do? What's your big vision here? Once this is done, how it look for yourself? And you can kind of tell what their own dream is, in my opinion, of like how uncertain or certain they are of it. And rather than tell them what you think they should do, which I think is not necessarily bad, but in my experience, it's been like intimidating. And we're different genders, and so sometimes I could be more intimidating with like saying, I think you should do X, and so therefore you should do it. I like to sort of like circle around it rather. Like, your idea was, what is your idea? And my thing is like, what's your real goal here? What are you really trying to do? What are you trying to optimize for? And they will tell you, and I'll say, well, that sounds like this is probably pretty good for you. And I'll lead to different things. That's kind of how I get to the yes versus like, this is what I think. What do you think?
I like that, and I like that you pointed out that we're different genders, because that's exactly what I was thinking. Is like part of our style is reflective of like who we are and our position in society. But yeah, like when I was younger, for those who can't see me, I'm a Black woman. So as a young person, when I was first starting out in sales, and I still have a young face, I think. You
do have a young face.
Thanks. I'm pretty elderly.
I'm not going to guess your age, but it's young looking.
Very geriatric. Like, I'm up there.
So geriatric.
I am like super geriatric. And so when I was young, I was selling to senior salespeople like CSOs, chief sales officers, CEOs, CMOs, selling them advisory services, which is basically telling them how to sell. And I'm selling them on our ability to tell them how to sell better. And they're like, well, why would I take advice from a little Black girl, right? And so the way that I approach those conversations is like, if I'm hands off and I'm like, you lead, they're going to run with that. And they already don't want to hear me. So I have to establish
more
dominance,
assertive.
more or less.
Yeah, more assertive.
Yeah. So I have to show that I'm in a position where, one, I'm not afraid for them to walk out of the door. I'm like, listen, you could take it or leave it. Like, I'm going to be good regardless. Also, just establish an air of confidence in that, like, I'm going to lead this sale. I'm never going to push you into something. You see that I'm interested in finding out more about you and your problem and fitting our solution with your unique needs and making sure that you're all taken care of. But let me carry us. Let me show you how to do it with our company and how we're going to work together. I do this every day. You're new to this. I'm true to this, and we'll figure it out.
That's a good line.
I like it.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I was going to ask if that was TI, but it was only like one syllable, so there's no way.
No, it's not TI for sure. I forget what song it is, but it's definitely a rap song.
Yeah.
Can't take the credit for it. take the credit for stealing it.
There you go. Well,
Yeah.
Great artist.
I use a lot of sales stuff still to this day, and that came up too in conversations at this conference. Is like, are you ever leveraging all of that stuff? I was actually talking with there's Imagine Cup, which is a startup and kid. Well, not kid. I shouldn't say kids, but they are kids. It's like
Younger than us.
Young adults.
right? They're college students.
There you go.
College students doing projects.
Up and comer.
The kids.
Doing projects, and their question was, what tech, or how do you know what tech to learn, like, or how do you know what bright shiny thing to go into? And the advice from me and the other senior engineers in the room was like, don't focus so much on what's the big shiny thing or doing exactly what's right. It's like your life, everything. Like if I think back on my life, going from sales into engineering or going from moving from this place to that place, none of it was a plan. None of it was like in high school or in college. I had this exact plan of I'm going to do this, this, and that. Everything was just taking off opportunities. Yeah, taking off whatever's interesting and figuring things out. So I forget where I was going with that, but what were we talking?
You're talking about helping people make decisions.
How you helped her.
How are you leveraging your sales? And
Oh, right. So yeah, every piece has been valuable. Every aspect of all this very completely nonlinear journey has been so valuable. Like I'm taking a lot of these sales skills and I'm using them every day in my work at Netflix, writing docs, using ChatGPT to convince people like, let's move over to this software, let's go in this direction. Or, just in any-day life, convincing people to let me speak at a conference or
seems to be very
work
successful
somewhere.
because there you are at the top of every list.
Here I am.
It's working.
Yeah, well, thank you.
What's up, friends? This episode is brought to you by our friends at Neon. Managed serverless Postgres is exciting. We're excited. We think it's the future. And I'm here with Nikita Shamganov, co-founder and CEO of Neon. So Nikita, what is it like to be building the future?
Well, I have a flurry of feelings about it, coming from the fact that I have been at it for a while. There's more confidence in terms of what the North Star is. And there is a lot more excitement because I truly believe that this is what's going to be the future. And that future needs to be built. And it's very exciting to build the future. And I think this is an opportunity for this moment in time. We have just the technology for it. And the urgency is required to be able to seize on that opportunity.
So we're obviously pretty excited about Neon and Postgres and managed Postgres and serverless Postgres and data branching and all the fun stuff. And it's one thing to be building for the future, and it's another to actually have the response from the community. What's been going on? What's the reaction like?
We are lately onboarding close to 2,500 databases a day. That's more than one database a minute of somebody in the world coming to Neon, either directly or through the help of our partners. And they're able to experience what it feels like to program against database that looks like a URL and the program against a database that can support branching and be like a good buddy for you in the software development lifecycle. So that's exciting. And while that's exciting, the urgency at Neon is unparalleled.
There you go. If you want to experience the future, go to neon.tech. On-demand scalability, bottomless storage, database branching, everything you want for the Postgres of the future. Once again, neon.tech.
So my wife and I built a house. We've been there 9 years now, so that's crazy. We've been there a long time. And the process, which you just went through, a process of building a house, it's not a straightforward one. A lot of it is like, building a career in a sense. That's why I'm bringing this across. And we had a geriatric builder. No, he was awesome. It was like having a father figure as your builder. Like we picked the best builder.
That's
in
great.
fact, we wanted all of our friends and family to use him, and he actually retired because he was elderly. But he took on this role of because we were young kids to him, basically old enough to be my dad. And he wasn't just going to be our builder. He was going to take care of us like a father would. It was amazing. Anyways, I say all that to say this. What am I talking about? I'm just kidding. I say all that to say this. He always said this, which stuck with us, and we say it to each other now. And he said, It's a long and winding road. And he was referring to the process of building a house because there's so many decisions along the way, so many things that go wrong, and you're like, okay, we have to adjust. What are we going to do this? And he would just say that, every time we're like kind of like, ah, he'd be like, it's a long and winding road. And so the house is stuck with us, but even more than the house is that phrase, which we now say to each other, and I say to other people like you guys. When it comes to your career, you can't just, like you said, choose I'm going to be a doctor at the age of 16, 17, 18, and then some people get this done, but very few of us. And then just like power through and be a doctor. And like that was your career, especially in tech, because it's such a moving foundation, right? You don't just learn Java and then spend 20 years coding Java. Okay, some people do that, but not very many. It's a long and winding road, And so the decisions are many, but each individual decision is relatively small. But when you're young, you haven't made very many decisions, and so all you see is like this big decision in front of you. Right. And what us geriatrics can say to the kids,
I love it,
is, hey, it's a long and winding road. Build, grow, change, make this decision, adjust, make another one. You're going to have 100 of them by next year, and that's calming, that's soothing, and that helps people take the next step.
Right. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Just the
Take
next
that next step.
Just the next step.
Or help somebody on their path towards the next step.
Frozen said, I think they said in Frozen.
Let it go.
That was Frozen 1. Frozen 2.
Oh, you did.
Frozen 2 was
curveball.
The next right step.
Did not see that coming.
Yeah.
Frozen 2 was like
the next right step.
The next right step. Very good. I mean, when you're stuck in paralysis, right, that's the truth. What is the next right step you can take to get out of the paralysis? You can't be like, fixed. No, you got to eject, next right step. Next right step. Like the turns, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Every turn is that next right step.
I love it. Yeah, that's one of my favorite quotes is every journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So yeah, take that next step. I have a friend that I've been talking to recently. She's at an inflection point in her career. She was in sales, and she's gone in and out of sales and customer success and things like that. And she's like, I just don't know what I want to do. And I just feel like dropping out of the workforce and not doing anything. She's like, I wish, Shaundai, that my life was like yours where, you knew everything. Like you knew all the steps that you need to take. Yeah. It's just like, it's like your whole path is I was like, never at any point. I was like, what's giving that energy? Because not at any point did I ever know what I was doing. And I'm still scared to this day to, take those steps. It just feels like you're in this foggy room and all you can do is you can see what that little next step is going to be. Yeah. Even sometimes it's even foggier than that. You don't even know. Like you might be stepping off a cliff. Who knows? But you have to have the confidence and the faith in your own abilities to be able to take that next step.
And sometimes the next step is a wrong step. And that's why you take little steps and then adjust, right? You don't look back and be like, I've been going the wrong way for 10 years. Hopefully you're doing more retrospectives than that if we might pull back
sooner.
Into agile.
Yeah, gosh.
But Adam, when you graduated from podcasting school back in the day, you knew exactly you're going to be a podcaster, right?
100%. Yeah. I mean, I was like, this is just too easy. I'm going to conquer the world. 15 years later, we're at the goal.
That's right. We're here at Microsoft Build,
No, that's not the case at all.
No.
That's fantastic.
Nobody planned this. Nobody planned this deal.
That's why I like, what is a next good step? What's the next good step for us?
Yeah.
Because you put it in their control. Mm-hmm. They reveal all the information. They reveal their trust in you or their lack of trust in you. You can tell with their body language if you're
What if they just say, I don't know. I don't know what the next step is. Then you tell them?
I might give them more to think about. I don't know what the next right step is here. Well, maybe you can think about this or this, and how would that influence your next step? The next step is like a key phrase for me, at least like lately. I mean, like I feel like I'm like repeating myself way too much, and I say it so often, and it's just so good that it works that I just keep saying it, obviously. But it's been a while. What's a good next step? Because it puts it all in their court. And the other thing I do that puts it back in their court is when somebody says something to you, declarative, and you don't really understand, rather than react and like act like you understand it, I say, how do you mean? Because there is nothing you can say. You would just keep explaining in different words what you meant. And so you can never declare that you misunderstood. You could just get to understanding, right? How do you mean?
That's a good one.
What's a good next step?
Yeah.
I'd love to help you. I can help you on your journey. I'm a resource to you. I am not here to close you. I'm here to help you.
I like that. I like that.
I
I can see
I
how
don't
that's
like
disarming.
closing people. I like to help people.
I see how that's disarming too. Yeah, and bringing it back to the whole gender thing, I think I would be kind of on guard if I felt like a man was telling me what to do. If anybody was telling me what to do, but especially if a man was telling me what
Yeah.
to do.
I don't want nobody telling me what to
Yeah,
do.
because it feels salesy at that point.
Right.
You know, it makes it feel more like a sale than a, I'm helping you type of thing.
Right.
And I don't want to be sold. I want to be helped.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, so you're giving the people what they want.
And I say, listen, if you have any questions, I'm here to help you.
Yeah. That's
If I've given you this information, you go away and you have more questions, let me know. Happy to help.
disarming them.
Yeah.
Yep. You got it. You got it. Good stuff.
That's my style.
yeah. Using
Helper,
sales.
not seller.
I'm a sales savage.
Sales savage. Listen,
Like,
here's the
shake you
pen.
upside down.
Here's the contract. We've spent 10 hours talking about it. It's time to sign.
It's time to sign.
That's
It's
great.
time to sign.
Yeah.
Now, there are times when I'm a bit more direct, but generally my demeanor's that. If I've like exhausted a lot of time with somebody and I'm like, listen, it's not what's the next step here. It's like the only next step is yes or a no. Because I got to go.
Yeah.
If not, that's what it'd be. More time to spend somewhere else. Not in those exact words, but that's my projection I'm letting out. It's like, it's time to figure something
Well,
out.
you want to spend the time with the people you can help, and
Yeah.
for the people who you can't help, like you want to get to that no quickly, right?
Yeah.
Like sometimes disqualifying a situation is the best thing you can possibly
Yeah.
do. Right?
Honestly.
Save
Yep.
both sides a bunch of time and a bunch of effort.
I don't go in pitching my menu. I'm not like, hey, this is what I sell. Which one do you want to buy? It's, this is who we are. And I don't even like pitch that even. I've really asked them a ton of questions. Who are you? How can we help you? What are you trying to accomplish? Those kind of questions. And it's like they just reveal everything to you. And it's not like a negative reveal everything, like a bad, like you're, being manipulative or something. It's just more like, now I know I can actually help you. And if I know I can help you, I'll be far more salesy about convincing them I can. It's not like I'm trying to say I can help you, but I have conviction. Like, listen, don't walk away from this call because I know the marketplace. We are the best people to help you. Please don't go somewhere else. And if you do, it's because we can't really help you.
Right.
And I don't want you to spend your money here if we can't help you. I'll tell people that. Like, you got to go somewhere else and spend your money. This is not how it works.
No, and that's good because I feel like they feel like they can trust you more if it's
Yeah.
not like, oh, I'm just trying to fit you into something just because I want your money. It's like, no, if it's not good for you,
Right.
then it's not.
And this is who we've helped and how we have helped them. We can do the same for you.
I love it.
Right? If you
Yep.
pinpoint to somebody or something that's quantifiable and you helped, I can do that, a version of that for you.
Yeah.
That to me is like saying, will you sign without saying, will you sign? Because it's more like, obviously, you're right. This is the right thing to do. I don't have to ask you to sign. It's I want to because clearly this is the right way to go.
Exactly. This is the natural next step.
That's
Yep.
the best way. In my opinion, that's the best way to sell.
Have you ever used any sales philosophies or like read up on any sales philosophies? The one that I use is solution selling. This is my favorite one.
Maybe. I mean, I think I've studied Brian Tracy over the years, lots of people over the years. I've probably borrowed things from them in
Yeah.
some way, shape, or form without knowing I'm selling a certain way.
Yeah. I've been like a lot of big company sales. So that's like, oh, we're going to train everybody on
Right.
this
Style.
gap
A
selling or
technique.
solution selling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but solution selling ended up being my favorite one because it's similar to a lot of the things that you said, where we're not just like showing you the menu of things and having you try and parse all of this information and we're going to fit you into the whatever hole that, you most closely align with. It's first understanding your customer and what their needs are, and then pitching a solution that is meant to fit their needs. So we may not have because a lot of the stuff that I'm selling, it's not like a one package, like a McDonald's menu where you can have a hamburger or a French fries or something like that. It's like I could give you like a little bit of this and then we could combine it with that and we could put together this package for you that it's designed for you because I've asked you what you need. And so now I can say, okay, well, how does that align with the stuff that my company's offering or what we're building for you?
Right.
Or is there anything that we're going to have to customize for you or take out from the existing offerings that we have? But because I'm doing such a good job qualifying, making sure, one, that you are a good customer of mine, so I'm not wasting my time by us talking. that we have something that fits your needs. So I'm asking you about the stuff that is important to you and what matters to you and what the low-hanging fruit are and what the North Star is, what we have to work toward. Because I've done all that work to figure out what you need, now I can fit you with the exact solution to what you need and nothing else. So you know that when you sign with me, it's going to be a solution that's tailored to exactly what we've talked about. So,
Question.
Yeah.
So, all that wisdom that you just laid out, translate that into a engineering team where you have decision makers above you. You have a solution that you think we should go this direction, right? Like you've come across in a technology or a technique or whatever it is, a solution, and you're like, this is the right solution for us. But it's not a small one; it's a big one, right?
yeah.
And you got to now convince, right, the power of persuasion or sales to a certain degree that this is going to solve our problem to your higher ups. How do you translate that in?
So is the question more of like the fact that they're higher up, or is it the fact that they're more, it's like multiple people involved in the decision-making process?
Just assuming that you can't make it yourself unilaterally. Like, it doesn't matter if they're higher up. It could be the whole team.
The whole team. Okay. Yeah. Because I can tell you what I'm doing right now at Netflix.
Okay.
So I'm I've convinced them that this is the direction that we're going to go with a certain product that we're building. Now, to add some context to, the term is called Informed Captain at Netflix.
Say what?
Informed Captain.
What is that?
This is a role as a leader. Are you laughing because it's like buzzwordy type of thing?
No, he leaned
very
in.
cute.
We have headphones on. There's no reason to lean in. You didn't hear any better because you leaned in.
That's
what made me laugh.
I'm just human. I'm just being human.
It's a human.
It's a human
What'd you
thing
say?
to do.
Same level in the ear
way of
cans.
indicating interest.
I like it.
said what?
Yes. Continue. I wasn't laughing at you. I promise.
Okay, informed captain is somebody who has it's like a lead role. It's a lead role, but we don't use the term lead. But you're the person. Okay, let me take a step back.
I like it. I'm with you.
Yeah.
It's kind of.
Can I help you a little bit?
Is this a Peter Pan thing?
I want to hear what you think it is.
Well,
and I can
when I
correct.
worked with Marielle on Brain Science, we did this show about, psychology essentially. It's on our website,
Spit it out, Adam.
changelog.com. I was like, what the heck
When
is that
he said
thing?
that, he leaned in, but he didn't have to.
changelog.com/brain science.
There you go.
She said, name it to tame it. And I bet you the reason why informed captain is better than lead or in charge is because it's disarming. You have information, you have wisdom, and somebody needs to lead. Because if there's four of us and we're all leading, we're all going in our own direction, right? Somebody has to follow and somebody has to lead. I think that's probably why it works, is because it disarms people from saying, well, there's Jared again in charge.
Right.
He's the boss.
The tech
No,
lead.
he's
Is
the informed
like
captain.
a tech lead position, like a tech lead.
It's no, because
No?
It's probably like
kind of.
decision based, right? Because it probably rotates.
It's decision based. So
Yeah.
it's more, we're very flat. And so we're like, we're all at the same level hierarchy wise. We all have varying levels of technical abilities, but some people are stronger at one thing and then that another person is stronger at another thing. So we're very flat. But one concept at Netflix that we really lean into is farming for dissent. So I'll raise an idea, but it's everybody else's job to disagree, or like not necessarily disagree just to disagree,
If they
but
disagree, to say that.
right, and to make sure. And then I, as the informed captain, am making sure that I'm farming for dissent. I'm asking people for their buy-in, because it makes no sense for me to make a decision in a silo, especially on my team where my customers are other Netflix engineers and I have the ability to get feedback. But in any tech, you don't want to just build the thing that you think is cool. You want to build something that you've actually validated with your customers and made sure it solves a problem for them, right? So informed captain is the person who's responsible for being kind of the quarterback of the project and organizing all the resources, the human resources and the tech resources, making decisions about what kind of tech we use, helping to coordinate with the PMs and they might be PMs themselves, but helping to coordinate with everybody on what are the priorities, what's the direction of the project, and how it moves. So the reason that I give you that background context is that, like, I have this unique position of being the person who's like, this is our decision, this is the way that we want to move. But before that, I want to make sure that we're all aligned on this decision. So in this scenario, my goal in selling is to convince everybody that the direction that I think we should go is the one that everybody should agree to instead of everybody dissenting.
Right.
And then we have to move in a different direction.
So how do you do that?
So you asked ChatGPT to write your document.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Help me,
That was-
ChatGPT.
Right.
Gosh.
That's where we started.
Yeah.
True.
No, the first thing, just like I said, in any sales scenario is to figure out what the needs are. One of my biggest things as a tech person, and it comes from my sales background, and I'll explain what I mean by that, is to get feedback from the customer even before we've put a line of code there. So I want to find out what the problems are. I'm asking all the questions to figure out what the big problems are. And I'm putting that all into a doc. This is the doc that I'm writing, is putting all that together to say, collectively, this is what you said, customer, happens to be other Netflix engineers. This is what you said is the problem, and this is what you said are the highest priorities. So I'm grouping those together. Going back, the reason why that's so important to me is because as a salesperson, I'm the first line of contact for the company, right? I'm the person that the customers are coming to and saying, wow, this product worked exactly as I expected. Or I'm the person who loses the commission because they're like, we don't want to buy this because it doesn't serve any of our needs. And we told you that we wanted this feature prioritized and nobody ever cared about that. I take all that feedback and I bring it to the customer success manager, who brings it to their manager, who brings it to the product manager, who brings it to the designer or the engineering manager, who brings it to the engineering team, who puts it on the backlog and, never looks at it. And a lot of engineers have this problem where they're afraid of someone calling their baby ugly. Like they have this idea in their head of this cool thing that they can add to their product, but they're not actual users of the product, or they never actually talk to actual users of the product. So they've never gotten that validation. And they waste so much time building these tools that nobody uses. And that's how it leads to layoffs in companies, because you spend all of these expensive resources, human resources, and buying tooling to support initiatives that haven't been validated, right? So all that being said, we'll get all of this validation from our customers. I'll go back and then I put it all together and I say, these are the 3 big problems that you have identified, or that in my conversations that I heard from you. And I'm outlining this in a way that is like very, this is you, this is you, this is you. Does this sound familiar? And they're like, oh my God, yeah, this is exactly what it is. Okay, now that that's said, is there anything that I missed? Nope, sounds like you have comprehensive view of it, and I'm adding in quotes from actual engineers, actual customers, screenshots of like things or videos of existing workflows where it's just like really clunky, or I'm taking multiple steps to get to the next, something that should be very easy, or I have to get to this very granular level of things where there's a way that we could easily abstract out all of this parts of the workflow. And that's what I put in front of the manager. And I'm like, or the team, whoever is responsible for making this decision. And I'm like, this is what we're experiencing now. This is my proposal for a solution. And I addressed these problems, which we all agreed, right? That these are priorities. And I'm addressing them in this way. And there's no way you can argue with that. Like, I've done my research. I've asked everybody. Everybody has already been bought in, because from the beginning, even before I put a line of code, even before I put a line in that doc, I asked you what you said. So there's no dissent, because we came up with this basically together. All I did was I just put it
Organized
in a doc.
it.
Yeah. So you're selling yourself basically.
Right. Which is the easiest thing to do.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You can't really argue with that. And if you did, you'd have to have a really good argument. So if you are wrong, which means that they didn't reveal everything they could during the interview process, which is fine too, right? It's all about getting to the right solution, not my solution, because that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to organize a solution because you got a job to do, right? They better have a good reason why that argument is true.
Yeah.
And then be like, well, why didn't you reveal that before? Okay.
Right.
Because now you're wasting my time. I put this presentation together. I'm the fool here. What's up with that?
Right.
Get it together.
Another key is like, it's always iteration, in tech. Like, it's not like, okay, I heard the problem and now let's just go build and never talk to the user again. You start from there, and then you get the agreement that, okay, yes, this is exactly what we captured. And okay, so now we've got the go ahead. Let's start building. Build a little bit. Start with an MVP. What's the smallest amount of work we can put into this just to get like a proof of concept out there so that this is in front of somebody. So now there's a product. Now people can start playing with it. And they're like, you know what? Now that it's built, I don't know. Actually, I think there's a bigger problem that we need to solve. And then you pivot. And then, so now you go to the next iteration. There's MVP 2, where you solve the new problems that came up, or you start to realize, like, technically we don't have the ability to do this just yet, or this is like blocked by this other thing that we need from this other team. And then you iterate from there. So you're always keeping that customer in the loop. Like, they're never out of it. So all along the way, it's just like, you're still working together. Yeah.
You know what that sounds like?
What?
A long and winding road.
A
So what would be a good next step?
full circle. That's right. Where do I sign? That's good.
I win.
You do win.
You win.
Well, it was actually a win-win-win.
It was a triple win. Yeah,
We all
I
win.
agree.
What is this? The AI thing? Did I say AI again? Did I say it too much?
No,
We're just counting up life points. We all win.
Oh,
we all did win.
I win.
Yeah, you win.
Okay, good.
You're here.
As long as I'm not a
100%.
You're our
loser.
guest.
100%.
Okay.
We like you a lot. That's why you're sitting here. We
That
like
is
you.
winning, I think.
That's winning.
I like it a lot
Right?
too. Yeah, I am winning. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Shaundai. This has been
Thank
awesome.
you.
It has been awesome.
Bye, friends.
Bye, friends.
There you have it, a free-wheelin' conversation with the one and only Shaundai Person. Connect with her online. She's Shaundai pretty much everywhere. That's SHAUNDAI. And stay tuned for more awesome convos from Build. We've got Scott Guthrie, we've got Mark Rusinovich, we've got Eric Boyd, and more. These guys are longtime technologists who are at the top of their game. We can't wait for you to hear from them. Thanks once again to our partners at Fly.io, to the amazing Breakmaster Cylinder. Seriously, what do you think of that new jingle? Does it get stuck in your head as much as it does mine? We'd love to hear from you. And thanks to our friends at Sentry. Use code CHANGELOG when you sign up and save $100 off the team plan. That's just too easy. Next week on the Changelog. News on Monday. The legendary Scott Guthrie on Wednesday. And Louis Villa right here on Changelog and Friends on Friday. Have a great weekend. Hit us up with a 5-star review if you dig what we're up to. And let's talk again real soon.